Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. It is time for Friday night on the Homestead, and tonight's topic is rain barrel usage with disabilities, and this was suggested. So basically, this is for those that have disabilities. In the email I got, they talked about different disabilities a person could have. Corporal tunnel where they don't have much strength in their hand, rheumatoid arthritis, and a bunch of other things. So before we get into it, though, I want to jump over here to the comments. Scroll back up to the top. And all right, so first one in was CR, followed by Walt Rogers, then Sue Me, then Little Lone Prepper, Troop 1351, Rick Phelan, and it's the Marshmallow Man, who gifted 10 channel memberships. And so I go back. I got to go over here because it doesn't show on StreamYard who all got the membership. So I'm going to rattle those off for those that didn't see it. So Teresa Cannon, OSHO, Teamy Twisted Zones, Hedgehog's Homestead, Kesley, Arwa, Takea, Jet, Purple T-Bear, Christy Betts, Kate. Yeah, those are the ones that picked up some do it. Now, if you wanted one, you didn't get a chance to do it, go ahead and scroll back up there to that the thing. I'm thinking you can get to it from there. YouTube may have changed, but you need to see about accepting gifts on it. Depends whether you're on your phone or whether you're on a computer, which way you got to go in to accept gifts, and you'll be put in the queue next time around. You'll get a month that's 30 days membership. I should have a bunch more videos coming out here. I got a whole bunch of footage videoed and on the tree coming down and stuff like that. So hopefully I'll get that out there for the channel members here tomorrow. And I may have a special live stream for channel members only on Sunday, because the whole crew is supposed to be coming to work on the tree. So I'm going to try to set up a live stream out there, the camera up there, so you guys can just come in and watch what's going on. All right. Let's see what's next here. Who else came in? Kaylin Strain came in. Tennessee Tactical One came in. Hey, Jeremy. And that's where we're at right now. And even with the trees down, there's still a ton of pollen and stuff out there. And I was out there working it today, and I forgot to go take some of the allergy meds. So you get a cough drop out here. I don't drop it on the floor. All right, so let's look at cover this a little bit more here. Get over here. Boom, bring that up. All right, so rain barrels. There are several ways to use rain barrels. I'm going to start out with the basics here. If you know someone has a disability that wants to use rain, this is going to be kind of generic because I don't know what disability that person is suffering from. I'm not going to ask. So I'm going to throw out a bunch of different things here. And on the side chat, if you guys want to chime in, please chime in. So the first thing that comes to mind is, do they need help setting up the rain barrel system? So that's what we're going to be talking about here. And hang on a second. I just had a right. Eli, out. Close the door. Go back to watching Minions. Yeah, the rest of the boys are in there watching Minions. So, do they need help setting it up? Placement. And one of the things to remember is the higher you can place the rain barrels, the more gravity feed you get out of them. Now, looking at these rain barrels here, I hate this setup. Can anybody there guess what I do not like about this setup. Now, give you guys a chance to comment it there. But look at the barrels specifically, what they've done to the barrels. And what on that would I not like? While you guys are thinking about that, I'm going to, hopefully someone will start typing in what they think I don't like. Feed into, yeah, aha, got two of them there. All right, so how do you feed into it? And you can't use a third of the water. All right, and there's a fourth one, which unless you have this up on a big screen, you're not going to see it. And so the black little valves here on the barrels, those are little water spigot valves for a countertop water dispenser. And then they attached a adapter to go to garden hose to it. Those little water things to do it, to open, those little spigot, things. Water comes out of it very slow because they don't want it gushing out in the kitchen while you're filling up a glass of water. So the water is going to be trickling out of it. So that's the first thing. Just saw something off the top of my head when I saw this. I go, ah, cool. And then I took a close look and I'm like, uncool, really uncool. So and the thing is, you got to, and you got to open up each one individually to different garden hoses going different ways. So you're running a lot of garden hose through the garden, which may or may not be a bad thing. Depends how it is. So if a person has disability like rheumatoid arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, now you can get it in your wrist. You can also get like my mom had bursitis in her shoulder and her elbow. So sometimes she could hardly move her arm at all. So there's different things that affect the body. People could not be able to walk around good because of feet problems, knee problems, ankle problems, hip problems, whatever it is. So you want to set up a system that's going to be as friendly as possible to anyone that's going to be doing it. And let me see if I can do something here. I'm going to escape out of this here for a second. I'm going to take this and see if I can enlarge this up for you guys. Let me do this way here. Come on, get back up. Thank you. And bring this down over here. And see if I can get it back there. Yeah, now you can see that. Let me get this thing a little bit. Okay. And down, hang on a second here. Get it centered here so you guys can actually see what it is I'm trying to show you. There we go. So you can get a better view of it and get it going again. There we go. So there's the what I'm talking about. This little thing, and you flick it up, and you fill. You find them on a hot water dispenser, cold water dispenser, whatever, and they glued some sort of adapter to it to put the hose to. So that's one of the problems I was thinking of. The memberships were purchased tonight by Lewis. It's the Marshmallow Man. So thank you, Lewis, again for purchasing those 10 memberships. All right, so let's go on to the next one here. Okay. Rather than gravity feed, and the problem with, let me go back. Even if you had a regular ball valve on there, the water trickles out. And if this has to be, when I froze, the water barrel has to be high enough up so it gets gravity feed to whoever you're going to do it. If you're holding the hose up to get something, it's going to cut back on the amount of feed on it. So your best suggestion then is to get a utility pump of some sort. Now these are cool. They have garden hose thread on both sides. They come in 110 volts, so you can just plug it into the wall. And so you can't, hang on a second. I want to get something here for you. Okay, let me change the display here, make me bigger. Okay, so when you plug it into the wall, you can get something like this. It's a switch, it plugs in, and you just turn it on, turn it off. And when this is on, the LED lights up, so it draws your attention that, hey, the switch is on. So that's just one of the things that you can do. They also come in 12 volt. So you can just, with clamps on it, so you can clamp it on a battery. And let's see, okay, so, all right, so yeah, Shenanigans came in. Diana 2 just came in. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else. And so with a pump like this, the rain barrels can actually be lower than your garden area, and you just turn it on and you can water the garden. And you can also have it so the output here it has garden hose thread up, but they have adapters for drip systems that, you know, so you screw it on the adapter on there onto it, and you run your drip hose out, and you have either the sprayers, the misters, or just the drippers, and run it through the garden. That way, all you got to do is flip the little switch, and it goes on. Now, the other one, do I have it in here? No, I put them all out in the shop in the garden section. I have those little timers that you plug in, and you can do it so it does it automatically. It comes on automatically, and you just go out and you check to make sure everything's working good. And that are for 110. But if you're using 12 volt, I haven't seen a timer that works on the 12 volt to turn it on and off properly, unless you get a sprinkler timer or a wired up outdoor timer. Those get expensive. Yeah, these are all over the place. I'm going to show you a bunch of these here in a second. There are several different types of these, and they're really cool. Yeah, that was one of the things we mentioned before, that the fill that CR pointed out, the fill line it's not showing how the tanks get filled. And so let me see if I can switch over here. This next one going on, and we get to it. Okay, so let me switch things up here and hide that there. Drop that down and bring up there. Okay, so I just Googled rain barrel systems so you guys can get an idea of different ways things are set up. Here's your basic one. Comes down the spout, you cut a hole in it, blah, blah, blah. Problem is you need to put a screen on there for any leaves, debris, sticks, whatever, so it doesn't get into the barrel. Generally, you want to have an overflow on it that's with a hose that's directed away, so you don't have all the water just splashing down right there. And you have your outlet on it. You can set them up higher. Here you have a big overflow outlet. You got the coming down in there. All the barrels are connected from the bottom, and you have your outlet over on the far right. Here's ones where it's stacked up, and then on the very bottom here it has a clean out on it. So when the dirt and stuff gathers there, you open it up and it dumps the crap out. There are a bunch of different ones where they stack them up and set them up different ways. You'll get all sorts of ideas here, and so for whoever the person is that has the disability, they may need some help setting it up. And then once they have it set up, though, they can do with it. And so they have a little diverter thing up here on the top. So when the barrels are full, it automatic diverters to the rain gutter. It also has a screen diverter on it, so any leaves and stuff automatically go there and supposedly get washed out. So there are lots of. This one here is a tilt-up one. This spigot, you just flip it up, and it locks in the little clip up here, and the water just bypasses and go right on down. Rain barrels come in all sorts of sizes, shapes. Yeah. There's all sorts of different ways of doing it, including my favorite, the IBC tote, which I'm using several of for mine. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, hang on, let me see what's the comments here. Speaking of water, the lake one, you got skunked, didn't catch a single fish. Hey, fish talk to each other. People can laugh at me, but fish talk to each other. And you know what? One gets away, he starts, shouting the warning to everybody else around. Set a barrel up on cinder blocks. No one below that. PVC hose between each barrel. Both have a spigot. Sort of like what this one up here is set up here. Yeah. All right. So let's switch over from these to the pumps. Back up to the top here. All sorts of different pumps. Now, this one right here is it's the Drummond one from Harbor Freight. I got a couple of those. They come with 3/4 inch pipe thread, but they also come with the adapters to garden hose with it when you buy it. And they also come with replacement brushes on them too. So about $55. Price kind of, I got mine, they were $35. So, but yeah, so there's that type. Then there are the hand crank types, a whole bunch of different type pumps. They have some that have submersible pumps in it, like this one here that drops down in there and it pumps it out. So you don't have to cut a hole in it, it goes up out the top. Here's one of those little pumps similar to what I was showing before. And this is a 12-volt one. This is a 120 volt one that they have hooked up to a solar a power station to run it out and about. Got a couple different types here. Another one of the smaller Drummond type from Harbor Freight. And then they also have diaphragm ones for an RV that are 12 volts as well. Just checking it. Yeah, in fact, I just got some emails, 2 different emails today. One of them, they're offering me a 20% coupon off any item, and the other one was a 15% off on a bunch of different items listed showing. So, yeah, Harbor Freight has some good stuff. I bought a set of drill bits years and years ago. About 40 years ago. I still have most of those today, and they've held up better than a lot of quote American-made ones. However, those Harbor Freight ones that I got, you cannot get anymore. 5 years later, they had cut the quality of it. That's when Harbor Freight was trying to make an inroad with the Chinese stuff, and they were actually using good steel. And so those went away. But some of the brands they're bringing out better quality ones, replacing some of the cheap ones that Harbor Freight used to have. But yeah, if you have a chance to go down, sign up for the either the stuff that comes in the snail mail or the email coupon things, you can find a lot of cool deals at Harbor Freight, especially if we're doing stuff. I mean, my 3/4 inch hoses and 1,500 foot lengths I got at Harbor Freight because they were cheaper, and they actually last longer than the hoses I got at Home Depot. Yeah, and that's where the sump pump, and actually the sump pump I got for across the street when they were having that problems before I raised the dirt near the house and sloped it away from the house because it was sloped towards the foundation across the street. The guy that owned it before, I raised that dirt up and up this, because the foundation was really exposed. So I raised it up so the foundation from the foundation. No more leaks underneath the house over there. So I picked up a small sump pump at Harbor Freight. Yep. And sometimes more than every week. Sometimes you'll get 2 or 3 a week because they'll have the one type of it, and then they'll come up with a 2 or 3 day special email too. Those are kind of cool. All right, back to pumps. Yeah, so there's 12-volt RV pumps. With a pump on it, you can actually spray water. You can actually pump at a decent. You can actually water at a decent speed. There are smaller pumps that are solar powered. These, if you hook these up to just a drip hose system, these are tolerable. Painfully slow, I think, but you don't have to do much with them. And if you have it set up so that the solar panel is aimed so it only gets direct light for a certain, like a half hour a day, and it'll run during that half hour. That's one way for timing it. But or you can just go out and put just wire in a simple toggle switch on it. There are a lot of different pumps and everything. Here we go. So here's one that sits on top of the lid, has a pipe goes down to the bottom, and the garden hose on it. Some of these smaller pumps, you got to be careful of them. This is a 500 gallons per hour rain barrel pump, and this is that. And we go down here, open that up. That's at Harbor Freight. Here's a bunch of other type pumps. This is the Harbor Freight Drummond, and you can see the brass fittings on this one on the far right here. You got 2 other sump pumps that work. Different ways to do using it. A whole bunch of different type pumps. I don't like sump pumps for rain barrels too much. I'd rather have an outside one that's easier to change and you can monitor the pumps. That's why I like the outside pumps better. And if you have your barrel set up near the house, but the garden's way away, you can run a PVC pipe or garden hose out near with an extension cord next to it out to the garden, and you can hook up one of these type or get a weatherproof switch like for a lighting thing. Get it wired in on that, and that way you don't have to worry about forgetting to turn the pump off. You have it right out there by the garden. You turn it on, you do the gardening, you turn the pump off, and you don't have to accidentally walk all the way back to the house, and then you get distracted and you forget to turn the pump off and either pump the barrels dry or burn up the pump. Let's see here. This type of pump here is usually it's called a landscape or lawn pump, or a bring a auxiliary pressure pump. So basically it brings your water pressure up to a certain level. So there they have one of those hooked up to an IBC totes, and so it draws it in, it pumps it up. All right, let's go over to there. So this is 500 gallons per hour, but the pressure on this type here, that's the pressure on it. It doesn't list the pressure. That's 500 gallons per hour is free flow there at the pump. So that's not meant to pump water very far or lift it very high. So there are cast iron pumps here. So here's another one here. $45 currently at on Amazon. Let me go back because I saw. So this is $60, but you get the whole kit, and you get a spare impeller and gasket system for it. So transfer. There's called a shallow well pump, but you can use it. It's exactly the same as this one called a water transfer pump. Another water transfer pump, different ones. This one here has a, let me open that up in a new tab here for you guys. This one here has a switch on the cord, so you don't have to wire anything. It's all set, and it comes with 2 short hoses. Comes with an extra impeller stuff. Has the extra contact brushes that screw into the port that are hidden behind the cord. That's about how big it is. So yeah. All right, and let's see what else we have. Other ones here. So you see all the different types, styles and stuff. I don't see anything listing specifically on it and on what I was looking for here. Let's see if I can find it here. We go back up to the top here. I'm going to change this to all. Sometimes they'll be in other departments. There's 12 volt. So you have a couple of them here that have different size pumps. And different manufacturers, so they have the clamps on it. Another one with clamps and a switch. So that, it's 360 gallons per hour with a 46-foot lift push. So, and then there's this one here in the middle here is a diaphragm pump. This one is like for an RV. It goes, it kind of pulses the water out. But yeah, there's all sorts of different ones here that you can get that are 12 volt, and then you go back into the 110 ones here. Checked off. Welcome, David. Welcome. Yeah. So there is so much equipment out there for it. You can do so much for using rainwater, or even if you have say you have a well and you got a tank by the well for your house and your house is pressurized, but your garden's way up on the hillside away from the house, and you want to do the, you got, elevation, you want to go up on top and do it. Sometimes the sprinkler pumps. Let me see. That's what I need to put in there. Sprinkler pumps. Lawn sprinkler pumps. So these are sprinkler pumps to some are shallow well, but here we go. Right here, 1 horsepower portable sprinkler pump. If you have a rain barrel system set up and your garden's up higher than your house is, you may want to go with one of these and put some more barrels or tanks up above the garden area and just pump water up into it till they're full. You can use one of these to do it, or you can use one of the other ones. You have the garden hose running up there. But the one thing I would suggest you get, let me go back up here. That one has this switch on. Let me go up here to, there's a special thing I want. You're going to love this one. All right, these are different types of float switches. I've used this type, this one here. And so you basically you have like a red ball or the black one here. When they get inverted, because the water comes up so high, they invert and then they turn off. There are some like this that are set up that when the water level comes up, it turns off the whatever's plugged into it, which would be a pump. So when the tanks get full, it turns off the pump, so it stops pumping. And so, yeah, there is a lot of different. Oh, hang on a second here. One boy is just wants attention. Okay, there are different types of floats you can get. There's ones that go they can plumb into a barrel here, and you plumb it in, and when the water comes up to it, it shuts it off. There's your schematics on it. So there are a lot of different ways to set it up so your system can work for someone with some sort of disability, whether it's walking or whether it's holding the spray nozzles on for watering. Over here. But one more thing in here I forgot to bring up. There it is. And so when it comes to, if you have a problem holding the spray nozzle down or using the long wands like I have for mine, for walking on, you don't want to drag a hose around. There is drip irrigation ones, different systems you can buy, the different tubes and stuff, and they do all sorts of different ones, cool things. As you can see, they got a video showing how you can adjust the flow on some of these things. Really cool. How much water comes out. You just put your hoses out. And that way you just go out and do it. Then there is, you can get stuff, you can get timer valves to run it. Like here's a timer valve. You can run 2 different things on it. And you can set the time it comes on, how long it comes on for, and then it goes to the next one. And if you have multiple zone ones, you also have flat soaker hoses. You have round soaker hoses that you can weave through the garden, and it just, it soaks that part of the garden. So that, there are lots of options for you if you can look at it. Now, the interesting thing, I've heard people complain about the, let me open this up big here. Like some of these emitters and stuff, they go, oh yeah, with hard water, it builds up in there and it's ruined and you can't use it anymore. And I have one thing to say to that. Have you ever heard of vinegar? You take these plastic fittings, emitters and stuff at the end of the season, and you put it in like a quart jar or whatever, and pour vinegar in it and let it sit there for a day or two. It'll dissolve all the hard water, calcium buildup out of them, and they're like brand new the next season. My mom's stuff for years was running on well water, and oh yeah, we used to pull those off and just soak them. So there's a lot of things you can do with different ones here. There's all these different types. Yeah, you got to look at them, figure out what's going to work best for you. There's also ones where they in your garden where they have the wide tape. They run the tape out, and you just go along. You stick your emitters into it. There's some with the tape that has a little hole every 8 inches. There's a lot of different types of way to water the garden. Um, this one here is an adapter that goes on the garden hose, and it's a 25 psi regulator, so you don't blow out all your drip mist system by having it trying to run on 50 pounds or 70 pounds pressure from the city or from your well pump. So there is a lot of options here. All right. So any questions on this stuff? Going over things here really good, covering it. There's, like I said, there's Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, have a lot of stuff in them as well. They have a good person for manning that area. They should be knowledgeable in it as well. And nurseries where they have their 1, their 2, their 5 gallon, their 7 gallon, 10 gallon, pots out and stuff. You notice they're always watering stuff. They have a system set up for their stuff, and check with them, find out how theirs work and stuff, and how they like it, and what do they recommend. So they can help you as well. Yeah, I've had a few of those from Ace Hardware, Home Depot and Lowe's. Supposed to be kink free, and as soon as it gets hot laying out in the sun, guess what it does? It kinks. When it comes to watering, my mom used it once, and it worked for a couple of years on her. Those hoses that it's supposed to be totally kink free, and they're lightweight, and they shrink up when there's no pressure on them. They stretch out long when they're pressurized. Yeah, I've looked at those. Not. Now I am going to be doing something different here sometime next week. After they get all the wood chip, all the branches and stuff chipped up from the trees here, I'm going to be putting down like 4 inches of wood chip in the garden area. And once I get all that down around all the plants out there and stuff, I'm going to stop watering by hand, because that's what I've been doing right now. I'm just going to get one of the fan. I got a bunch of the fan lawn sprinklers. I'm going to set it up so it goes straight up and down on the one side near the house. As it goes out away from the house, it'll go down, it'll water everything and come back up. And I'll set a couple of those out there. That'll water all the pumpkins, all the trees, all the butternut squash, the peas I'm going to be planting out there. It'll water everything, and it'll be on a timer, and I won't have to worry about it again for the season. And then next year I'll probably set it up, the same thing up again. I'll probably pick a little bit different locations for some of the plants, and try a few more plants that my wife wants. But doing a sprinkler type system on like that, where you're not hard impacting everything, but it's just spraying up in the air, that works pretty good. I actually used something similar last year, but I've been playing around, experimenting in the garden this year. Planted 10 fruit trees, and so I'm working on it right now. But hooking a sprinkler system up on a timer, on a clock timer, so it goes off the same time every day for the same amount of time, that makes it so much easier once you have it set up. So, all right. Okay, we've been at this here for about almost 45 minutes now. Let me look here. If I can think of anything else. There are the, let me bring up my thing here. I did get a couple of other sprayers here, so I'm going to bring some sprinklers. I'm looking in my order history here to show you some things. All right, so I have out there, I have some of these. This is the Sun Joe here is not as good as, or Aqua Joe is not as good as the ones at as the begins with an M, the brand. They have it at both Lowe's and Home Depot. They have this nice adjuster on it, and you can set that for the pattern where how it's going to go. And then it just kind of sprays up and it moves between those two pegs. So you have it go straight up, you have it down, you have it go partially, you have it go full. And so that's one of the ones for my lawn right now, and for the trees and part of it. I use one of these tractor ones. It goes out there, walks on, waters. So I have a lot. I was watering with the oscillating ones, but I used this one back to these can walk and work right. But I also have several of these too. And you can get these in a square pattern, a round pattern. So there's different ones you can get. You can actually get some of these in a half pattern as well. And, hook them on a hose and it just waters that area. Hey, Teresa, how's it going? So those are just some of the sprinklers. And I know there are more sprinklers out there you guys can look at and figure out what will work. Drip Mist is a brand, and it had the drippers emitters that you could set for. They had multiple settings on them, and you could set it for the 3 gallons an hour or gallon and a half an hour, the 1 gallon an hour or half gallon an hour, the 2 gallon an hour or one. They had a bunch of just 2 different positions on the different ones. And also had some that just missed it. They missed it at 1 gallon an hour, 2 gallon an hour, or 3 gallon an hour. You put those different misters on. Does that mean you have to run it for an hour? No. My mom had me put 3 gallon an hour on a lot of her stuff, and she ran it for 10 minutes in the morning and then 10 minutes in the evening. Kept all her pots and stuff nice. All right. So I think that covers everything here that I can give you information-wise. But using a pump system, whether it's 120 volt or 12 volt, will get the water from your rain barrel out to the garden a lot easier. Drip irrigation system around the house too works good and controls water usage. Ground cover like chips and peat moss and stuff like that to help hold the moisture in, limits the amount of water you have to use. So there's a lot of things to do it. And as Howie at Food Forest Permaculture says, when you get your garden turned up with a lot of biomass in it and biochar, it'll hold water so you don't have to water it as much. It doesn't allow it to evaporate out so much. All right, so coming up here. Tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping, topic is going to be piggies for preppers. And we're going to talk about why some preppers might want to raise pigs. And then Monday is low sugar canning back here on Camppatton Family Compound. Tuesday for Tactical Tuesday and Gray Man Prepping is processing skills, talking about processing what you raise. Thursday is the Midnight Ride. And next Friday here is we're going to try to get back to do the homemade leavened bread, flatbread, and we'll talk about breads and stuff next Friday. All right, everyone. Hope that helped you out. If you have any other questions, you can send me an email, and I'll try to answer it. If you have any suggestions for topics, please, from either channel, send me an email to this one here. The email is also down in the bottom of all my live stream videos, and should be in most of my other videos too, bottom of the description. All right, everyone. So get garden stuff, and I will see you tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping. Take care.